Welcome to lesson 15. So in this lesson we're going to cover a couple of usability enhancement and a couple new features. So the first new feature that we're going to cover here is what we call clicks. So you go to data and clicks, and so you will get this window here. And what you can see here is you have the different types of data. If we order this by the type, so you see here in this case achievements, goals, ideas, locations, and so forth. And then on count, and you can of course order by this as well, it pretty much shows how many times each of these data points have been clicked. Now the idea behind this is that after you've been using the software for a while, of course these clicks here will go up quite a bit, and there will be more distinction between the clicks. And the idea here is that you can pretty much easily visualize data that you are looking at often. For example, if you often interact with certain people, they will have a higher click count than other people, certain ideas, goals, and so forth, right? So just to give you an example, let's look at Lizzie Lizard here, like 26 hits right now, right? So if I go to the People tab and click on Lizzie Lizard, right? So I'm looking at her record here, and we go to clicks again. Then you will see that, let's order this by people again. So here's Lizzie Lizard now, the click count is 27, right? Again, if I click this here again and go to click count, it should be at 28. So let's look at this again. Person, see Lizzie Lizard 28, right? So again, the idea here is very simple, right? It will just easily visualize how often you access certain content. So that's just a small little feature. Another thing that we have added here, when you click like little arrows here, you will hear click sound. So this is just a simple usability enhancement to give you some audio feedback as you are moving some of these things here. Another quick thing that is new here as well, and I'll show you this with Major Tom. You see Major Tom, we say we know the birthday, and it will automatically determine the zodiac sign, in this case of our person here, Major Tom. If I'm going to change this here, change the month, right, this will immediately change to whatever the zodiac sign that is, right? So it's just for people that like to look at zodiac, right? So if you know a person's birthday, it's specified here, you will easily able to see a person's zodiac sign. Another thing that's new with people is people connections, and you see here we already have entered one connection for Major Tom, which you can see here. So let's take another person here, let's say Jane Doe, which has 0 connections. If I click this little link here, we'll get the connection window, in this case for Jane Doe. And so you could say, for example, Jane Doe is, and then you get the same relations that you get in the People tab. And we now have a look ahead feature here as well. So if I say sister of, right, so let's say of Richard Head, and you save this here. So you can build connections between people very easily here. Over time, you see as I'm leaving this here, the connections go to the 1, since Jane Doe now has 1 connection. And another thing that is new here as well, let's just create a new person, and let's say this is, let's say Bob Wood. Let's say I can't find the relation here, and let's say Bob Wood is my tax advisor. So if I don't have this in here already, see, there's no look ahead, let's say tax advisor, right, and I save this here. You will see that now tax advisor has been added here, even though it was not in our original list, and now it has been added to our list. And if you have followed some of the lessons about what's going on under the hood, you know that in data knowledge there is a list here, for example, for the relationship type that gets loaded, and you will see here that the tax advisor now has been added here as well. So in the future this will show up as a look ahead as well, right? So you can easily build in new knowledge in the software here that way as well, right? So little feature here as well. Now another thing that is new, and that's more in the analytics, is the lexical analysis. And what that does is pretty much, when I click on start here, it will pretty much go through my journal that I've written, and it will count words. And you see here that doesn't really show as much because in this demo version that we haven't really written much into the journal. We can change this here. So let's say I am writing some new stuff into the journal, and I'll save that, and let's run the lexical analysis again. See, we see a couple new words in here, right? And of course this also makes only sense once you have done this for a while. So it will count the occurrence of words here over time, right? So the word journal has already been used twice. And of course there's filler words, and a lot of the filler words are in here, right? And so I can filter this and take out the filler words, so I can really look at what content shows up here. And again, once you have written your journal for a while, you can see certain words here that are clustered that show up a lot, other than words like, you know, I am, I've been, and so forth. That doesn't go in here. Again, when you go to knowledge, there's a little keyword ignore word here. So these are pretty much the same words that are showing up on the ignore list. So you can extend this as well. So words like you, for example, you most likely do not want to count. If you do, you just remove it from the list here, right, for the lexical analysis. Like we have covered in most of the other lessons before, right? I mean, this software is mostly about keeping your thoughts, keeping all your data in one place. Specifically when you write journals every day, and I've used this software now for over 18 months, and I think I'm writing about 500 words a day. The lexical analysis provides some really good insight about words that are used very commonly versus others, right? So this is more in the analytical portion of the software here again. So I'll show you two more things in this lesson that are pretty cool. So you remember we had a location feature here, and this is pretty much this here, and it shows here a couple of locations that we have entered, and as you go through there, you see it goes to Google Maps and shows you where these locations are, and you see there's a new little tag here. I can say I've been to this place, right? So in this case it says Eiffel Tower, yes, and Reichstag in Berlin, no, State Capitol, yes, White House, no. So what I can do now, I can click here on this little visited button, and it will show me a world map, and it shows me these two locations I have visited, right? What this is really cool for, if you travel a lot, you know, you want to impress yourself or others with all the places you have been already, right? What I recommend is, as you're keeping track of locations here, if these locations are travel destinations, right, you can click on I've been here, and it will show you a nice map of the places you have been, right? So if you do a new location here, and let's just say Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, let's see if we can map that here. Of course we can. Let's see here, get a little bit bigger. This is probably downtown. It's not the Copacabana, right? So say that would be a site, right? And we say, okay, I have been here, and I saved this, right? So again, I haven't been to Reichstag, I have been to Rio, right? If I now go on the world map again, we should have a new marker at Brazil, and there it is, right? So it's pretty cool, right? If you have like travel ambitions and things like that, you can easily track stuff like this, right? Which brings me to the next and the last feature we want to cover here today, and this is called wish lists. And wish lists is just another simple thing here for tracking stuff. And unlike goals, where you really want to do some tracking and things like this, this is more a a place where you say, okay, I've always wanted to do this, I always wanted to go there, like kind of a bucket list of whatever you want to call it, right? And say, for example, you say, I have always wanted to visit the White House. And you recall from our previous example here, that's a place we hadn't said we have visited yet, right? You can say category on this, it could be most likely social life, right? And then you can assign an icon as well. You can see here's a little airplane, and see the click sound again, right? So you can pretty much associate an icon with this wish, right? So it's about 50 icons here that you can associate with any of these wishes, right? Say we want to go there by boat, right? And then you can say, okay, when do I want to have done that? Let's say by the end of 2014. Let's say it costs 2,500 it's probably a little bit stiff. Let's say this costs us $850 or whatever your local currency is, and you just say save, right? And now we have 2 wishes here, and you see as I'm going through here, the picture changes, right? So this is more to track your wishes. And you see another thing here, you can link wishes to either people or locations, right? So this wish, my first wish, which we haven't covered that I entered before, is linked to 2 of these things. This one here, visit the White House, is not connected to anything right now. So if I click on link on location and I say White House and I save this, let's go back again, and you see next time I go to that, it pretty much says this is linked to that location, right? So again, this is just another little feature here in an area of the software where you really want to keep that stuff, that are your dreams, the things you want to do, and just another data point you want to add here, right? So, and this pretty much concludes our lesson for today. So to capture, again, we covered the click counter today, which is good for analytics. We covered the new function, which is the zodiac signs for people. We covered the new more flexible relationship category. You can enter your own relationships type. We have covered connections between people. We have covered the lexical analysis, which tells you a little bit more about how you write and what words you use. And then lastly, we covered the new places I've visited feature in the location map, as well as the wish list here. So looking forward to seeing you in the next lesson.